guys are so funny. You're trying to get me to do this stupid shit. And
she just whispered, "I'm a bad bitch," for anyone who didn't hear. Stop. 420.
I'm lit at Disney.
And the kids asleep in the bath.
There we go.
A ball sack station.
That's what a business owner looks like.
No, not that. Okay. Welcome to Tattoo Homemakers, right? Is that not where we start?
Yep.
Welcome to Tattoo Homemakers, a podcast where we talk about life, tattoos, and everything in between. Nice. I don't know our fucking thing.
You're crushing it.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. If you're watching on YouTube, we're in a weird spot in our brand new living room with our light that doesn't work because we don't have the correct light bulb for it.
Boo!
And if you're just listening audio-wise, hopefully the audio is okay. We have the windows open because that is what life in New Zealand is like. Mm-hmm. So if you hear some random noises, like birds or children or the college kids. Yeah.
Then that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Do you want to tell them why you're so exhausted?
Life. Restarting a brand new life is pretty exhausting.
Yes. It is not for the weak. You know, we talk about doing hard stuff all the time, and I feel like you and I are not opposed to doing hard things, but this is hard. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I think maybe for you as well. I don't want to overspeak. But it's, it's difficult, completely restarting and also just trying to find our footing in a way that honors ourselves. So right now we're in the middle of a million house projects, which can be equally gratifying and frustrating at the same time. I feel like I've done no work at all, but I finished most of the drawers and cabinets. And I will say, even though the entire time I was talking about how, well, this one isn't perfect, this one isn't perfect, this one you can see the wrinkles, grabbing something out of the cabinet just now and knowing that I vinyl wrapped it made me really happy.
See?
So it's gratifying. Yeah. It's just still challenging. So you guys should make changes to your places because it's important. Go look at our interior design topic. I don't know which episode it is, but yeah, go look at that. It's really important. And yeah, it's just exhausting. The shit's hard. So yeah. We wanted to talk about our welcome to our new home thing. Oh, but before we get into that, I would like to ask you what your gender feels like today.
A curled up ball of paper in the corner. Yeah. I just feel like an empty, that could be because as I went to sleep last night, I was literally dreaming about the paper because we're having to unpack 300 and I think it was 378 boxes.
That's crazy. I thought it was 200 and something. But
yeah, Caboose said that. And then that wasn't true because when I was helping the movers go through the sheet, it's 370 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Caboose was oh, it's 200 boxes and it's unfortunately more than that.
It might be 200 boxes or over 200 boxes, but there's still 300 and something odd worth of things, Yeah. I'm assuming they counted the items that weren't in a box. That still makes sense.
Yeah,
you're still
but most
it.
everything is in a box.
Yeah.
And then inside of boxes are more boxes that didn't get labeled.
Super confusing too, by the way. They for some reason took our Asian soup spoons out of the utensil organizer that we're already in, and for some reason packed it somewhere else. That was so weird. Yeah. So when we were eating pho the other day, we're what the fuck? Where are our spoons? But yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it's
your wrapping paper
people
in a corner?
So the people that we had packing us up did not do a good job. They actually packed empty boxes and then told us there was not room for our items.
Oh my god.
So that's been a big debate back and forth with the moving company.
Yep.
So we're still waiting on a couple boxes worth of stuff that they then had to ship but tried to charge us for. So what does your gender feel like?
Oh boy. My gender feels like I would say a crispy beach towel.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, she's still fun, but she needs a good wash.
Yes.
And she needs a day not out in the sun.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So
absolutely.
Yeah, crispy beach towel. If you hear the sirens, it's also because there's only one, I shouldn't say there's only one. There's a bridge that's close to our place, to our neighborhood. that is right next to the police station.
Yes.
Which, by the way, the police stations here are not threatening at all. It's crazy. It's just so insane how different, like, police presence is here versus in the States, where, like, whenever I would see a cop car, I'd get really fucking nervous. And over here, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's just, I don't know, completely different vibe.
Yeah.
But any hoozles. We want to talk about some differences in renting, especially with the new packet that we got.
Yeah, because we've been in the new house. We've technically, like, had the house for about a week now. But we were still kind of going back and forth between, like, the Airbnb that we rented.
So much
and
crime.
then this one. Well, it's obviously a big emergency. You can then tell them about the fire we saw earlier. Or yesterday. But yeah, we've been in this house for a couple days now. So we're still, like I said, we're still unpacking. The movers brought everything on Saturday, and it's currently Tuesday here, Monday there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and can we talk about the fact that, dude, what is going on? I'm so sorry if this is your first episode that you're tuning
That's
in
a fire
on.
truck.
I promise you it's a lot more
probably
fun.
a car accident.
Most likely, yes. All the dudes on Tinder have been telling me that Hamilton is such a crime-ridden place to live, which is so funny coming from dudes in Hamilton versus a Reno girl. I'm like, y'all don't even know shit.
Yeah.
People from Reno either know someone who's gotten shot or know someone who shot somebody else. And honestly, it's probably both. But anyways, yeah. So now the joke is that we say crime whenever we hear sirens.
Yeah, because people keep saying that it's the most crime-ridden town, and it might be one of the more crime-ridden towns in New Zealand. However, it's definitely still much safer. So we'll take this.
I feel good just like walking down the street.
Yeah. And we're getting to know our neighbors. I had a couple-hour conversation
talk about
with
that.
one of the neighbors from around the corner. And
dude,
she's
awesome.
also from Manchester, which is crazy. She moved here when she was a kid too. And then was telling me how she has like their Japanese pears that grow in her garden. And then came back and brought the pears back.
They're so good too.
Yeah,
they're delicious. So
I met her because she was watering the neighbor's like garden because they've been out of town, and so she was watering their garden for them while they were gone. So that's the type of neighborhood we live in. It's amazing.
Yeah, super sweet. And the college kids, by the way, next door, they always shut down their parties before midnight. It was crazy. It was almost like clockwork at 11:30 at night. All of a sudden it was quiet and we were like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the sound ordinance is for 11:30 at night. So like we were definitely dreading like on Saturday night, obviously having had the movers here, and we were like, fuck, we're gonna be exhausted. Like it's been such a massively long day. And then instead we got to just relax because once we were getting ready for bed, they just instantly shut the party down. Yeah. So it was great.
Yeah. Also, all of our stuff came in 2 months earlier than expected. So that part, I will say, I guess it's better to have it earlier than it is to have later, but that does make it tricky for the people who actually do stuff with their houses and their rentals.
Yeah, because we thought we'd have more time to be able to like renovate. Also, we brought a lot of extra shit because they told us.
So we paid for extra weight in our luggages because, again, I was assuming that I would have 3 months without my closet, and now my entire closet's here.
You want to tell them about your closet situation?
Okay, so
we'll talk about the pluses and minuses of a New Zealand home.
Pluses and minuses.
Keep in mind, this is obviously not all New Zealand homes.
No.
This is just the one we're in.
This is what we are experiencing.
1960.
Yes, she's okay. So the house, that we're in was built in 1960. She's a gorgeous house, amazing location. We were really looking forward to being in Hamilton East, because all the other places we're looking at in Hamilton were fine, don't get me wrong, but like we just really grew attached to Hamilton East. Our Airbnb that we stayed long-term stay at was in Hamilton East, and we just really
one street up from where we are now residing.
We literally, when we were packing stuff up, could walk from our Airbnb to the houses, and that's pretty much what we did the entire time. We were just walking back and forth, just getting minor things. But yeah, so we're stoked. She's in Hamilton East. She's awesome. One thing that like I will say is that I'm not used to not having like gigantor rooms, I guess, and big ass closets. The closet that I have is probably less than half the size than the closet I had in the States. So I was like, oof, I'm going to have to get a dresser.
The easiest way to explain this closet is that if any of you have a hall closet where you put blankets, that's her whole ass closet.
That's my whole closet.
Yeah, it is like a single small closet.
Yeah.
With the door that opens on the wrong side, so it's fucking weird. So we've got to get real creative about storage.
Yeah. Adorable. Love her. It's a very unconventional home. The property itself is actually huge. So we have this giant backyard. It's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's great.
Huge backyard with a pool, by the way, which we're planning on renovating when we get there. We're trying to settle the inside of the house first before we work on the outside. But yeah, so now we're living unconventionally and trying to get creative with storage. So one of the closets that's in the hall is also mine.
Yes, that'll be for the rest of her clothes.
Yes, because I have so many clothes. Do you want to tell them what the movers said about?
So how many boxes are in there? 4,
There's
5,
like 6.
6. The giant wardrobe boxes, where they hang up all the stuff. She has, I think, 4 of those, and then she's got 2 of just like clothes from dressers. And then she used previously, she had what's a pretty standard large closet, not necessarily a full walk-in closet, but a large closet is what she had in the previous house. And the top of that was then also where she put all of her folded clothes that wouldn't fit in the couple of drawers that were under her bed. Yeah. So she has a lot of clothes.
Your girl loves clothes.
Yeah.
Loves them. So and by the way, I don't regret bringing any of my clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Because clothes shopping here is not really a big thing. People were not joking when people on the internet were saying, yeah, I frequently visit America to go clothes shopping and then I just bring all that shit back. And that makes sense because a lot of the stuff that you see is just repeats of outfits that you see everywhere. Yeah. It's not really a thing. And I think America is a lot more consumerist in that way, where we're constantly updating our wardrobe probably once every 3 months if you're really obsessed with fashion or you like shopping. Once every 3 months you're just buying new clothes. Yep. Here that's not really a thing. So I'm glad that I have them, but the movers were definitely I don't know what she's going to do.
Yeah, they started laughing because her room, because we had placed the Barbies from the studio in there, so that way they could pack them up.
We still have some things from the FAFA too. Some things from the FAFA were in my room. So.
Yeah, well, I put those already in the FAFA.
Oh, great.
So the stuff that's in, I slid those that say Barbie room, but the movers in Reno I keep wanting to say South Carolina, had labeled it the Barbie room, and so we were telling the movers here which room to go in, and then they started laughing when they're seeing where it said clothes, and they're there's no way it's gonna fit. What is she gonna do? All the boxes take up her whole room right now with her mattress in there. Yeah. So they were just laughing at the fact that she just has a ridiculous amount of clothes.
Real life Linda. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. She's having those trunks put in and they're all matching. That's me. Yes. So, oops, whatever. Yeah. But I'm stoked that I still brought them because I really did downsize a lot. I can't tell you how many donation trips I made before moving to New Zealand. It was a lot, just constant. Okay, we're going to do a first wave. It's going to be huge. Second wave is going to be even bigger. Third wave, because you have to. Fourth wave, because you also have to. It was a lot. So, anyways, that was a lot.
One thing that Callie wanted to bring up was we've noticed this kind of throughout. Anytime you get instructions about stuff here, it is so incredibly wholesome. So there isn't as much legal jargon. It's been interesting reading over the leases, and even for the business lease, reading it, because obviously some of the terminology is different. So I do have questions on that. But as somebody who really enjoys legal jargon, and listens to legal podcasts, and also I think part of being autistic is that the legal jargon really makes sense to me because it's very I don't know, cut and dry in the way that they speak. It's really cute to me and also you, the way that they phrase things here. Because in legal documents of hey, this is your home, this is how you make your rent payment, this is when it's due. FYI, rent here is paid weekly, except for business rent, which is also still, thank God, paid monthly. So at least that's a little bit easier.
That's nice, yeah.
A little side note on that. and we'll have a whole business episode once the business is up and running. But it is a weird thing that the rent for businesses here are listed on a yearly amount.
Yep.
So that was weird when we were looking at like rental spaces to be like, wait, why is it this much? Is that what the fuck? And Caboose had just luckily like found out himself that he was like, oh yeah, they like tell you what the yearly rent is, but you still then have to do the math to break it up monthly. But for your actual household rent, you pay weekly.
Yeah, that's the norm here. And you also get a little packet. Now, mind you, I might not be the best person to talk about the differences between American rent and like New Zealand rent are here because I've only ever rented from Lou and Caboose. So it's not like I got a packet. Although, like, if you had time, I'm sure you would make a packet, but that wasn't necessary. No. We were friends at that point.
I also would not have written this the way it's written.
So cute.
I've never seen like a welcome packet for
the tenants
that like this.
Right, exactly. The packet starts in bold. Welcome to your new home. Very cute. And then it tells you the
that part's
address.
pretty normal.
That's pretty normal. Super cute. I'm just gonna move to like where I was like, oh my god, this is adorable.
Yeah, some of it's fairly normal, and then it gets really cute.
Yeah. So they've got an agreement. This is what it is. An ingoing inspection report,
which is also pretty standard. However, the realtor took pictures of everything.
Oh my god.
And then was like, hey, feel free to like double check. And I'm not used to them taking pictures in the States. Everywhere that Caboose and I have ever rented from, we have to go through and mark off anything that we notice.
Yeah.
And then like let them know beforehand so that way on the way out they can like compare any damage we've done compared to that. However, she photographed so many things to which I've already started repairing. So that's going to be a hilarious like outgoing thing when it's like, hey, leave it how you found it, and be like, or we'll just fix those cracks in the walls.
Yeah. Right. And she photographed right down to like when paint dropped onto the tiles of the bathroom, which have mostly been scrubbed. I'm still making my way in the bathroom. That's a whole other story. I've been scrubbing my ass off. But anyways, so those paint droplets were included in the packet. So this packet was fucking huge, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, so
very thorough.
The rent in advance section of the welcome to your new home packet says, please ensure your rent is always paid in advance. It is important to note the first week's rent paid is your first week of tenancy. We have a very strict rent policy and we'll follow up with you if your rent is missed. Should your rent be missed for more than 5 working days, a breach notice will be served to you. So that's pretty normal, right? And then they go on to say and add, rent in advance concept is simple to understand is similar to purchasing a can of drink from a dairy. A dairy, by the way, is like a corner shop. Super cute. If you open the can, drink the contents, and then walk to the counter to pay, you would agree that you might find the store owner not pleased with your actions! Exclamation point. The right thing is to pay for the can of drink first, then consume the contents after paying. Rent is purchased in advance, then used by living in the property. So adorable.
Yeah, so they break everything down.
Yeah, they're like,
here, this is why you need to pay first.
If you don't understand why you need to pay first, let me make sure that you have a little metaphor in it. And things just constantly have metaphors, and it's so adorable. They also break down insurance. So several examples. They have like 4 examples. But anyways, they just say that, you know, the landlord's insurance does not cover your goods. Example 2 really made me laugh. It was, you're away on holidays, vacations for our American listeners, and the power cuts out due to an electrical fault in the building. You return home to find your fridge and freezer goods spoiled. The owner's insurance will not cover your fridge or freezer goods.
Which I did not think any insurance covers that, FYI.
I know.
We had a deck fall off the back of our house, and our insurance did not cover that.
Right.
And we'd been in there for a fucking year, and the whole deck just fell off the back. And they were like, yeah, well, we're not covering that.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane and adorable. I mean, that example really made me chuckle. And thank you for outlining it, just in case someone really needed to hear that. But I don't think nobody should complain about that. They talk about urgent repairs, and they're just like, please contact me. There's a number listed. I don't know if that's normal. Probably is.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It was adorable. They talk about inspections. That's normal too. Picture hooks. If you wish to install any new picture hooks, please include what type of hooks you would like to use.
Which is also like really interesting to me because again, like I get that people usually ruin rental units, which has been like a really interesting conversation to have with them about the fact that like I've painted and like decorated every rental property I've ever been in, and you just have to paint it back white and like repair anything that you've done. And I've never had to like ask, and they're like, hey, if you're going to make changes, please ask. And then I just got to know the neighbor because I really would just prefer to know the actual owner. So as I was getting to know the neighbor and we were talking about like landscaping and like some of the trees, and she's like, yeah, if you like have an issue with it, just give me a call and I'll tell Mark to just get it chopped down. So it's like nice to be able to like deal with a person and not just a rental agency for me, just because that's typically like what I prefer. But it is interesting that they specifically are like, hey, show us the type of picture hook you want to use before you install it.
Right. Absolutely. There's a lot of like, asking. You just need to make sure you double check and ask. And I don't know. Again, I haven't like actually rented from like a company or like a landlord before. But yeah, I found that interesting too. They're very thorough here. And then you mostly just communicate through your realtor, I guess. Yeah. You don't really actually talk to the person who owns like your landlord. You don't really talk to them.
We plan on being in this house until we are ready to like build our own home. So I'm hoping that we'll get to know him.
And you've already made friends with his friend.
Yeah.
So
because I ideally would like to just like know him on like a personal level to be like, yes, if there's like an issue, I can absolutely go through the agency, but also like I want you to know that I'm taking care of the home.
Absolutely. And might I say that I already know that we're taking care of the home better than most tenants because the reaction that we've gotten is like, oh yeah, a lot of renters just leave it worse than what they found it. It's cool that you guys are doing upgrades and whatnot. So,
which again, if you're renting somewhere, take care of it. Don't be a dick.
Don't be an asshole. Because you know what? I will say, this ruined this whole fucking like concept for me where it's like, oh, it's ready to move in. It is not. If your standards are that low, y'all need to love yourselves. Holy shit.
You want to explain what you've been doing?
Yes, I've been taking a fucking dental pick. It's not actually a dental pick. It's like the Cricut version of the dental pick, but it's the same fucking thing. I've been taking the pick and like literally scraping out grime from the corners of cabinets, and the shower was bad. It was fucking horrendous. And for any of those of you who have been listening to the podcast, you already know your girl's got shower trauma.
Yep.
I need to make sure everybody else showers before I take a shower, so that way I know that shower is safe. And I scrubbed that fucking thing, hands and knees, and it took me 2 days to get through it all. Yep. And there's a point, too, which I didn't know exists. There's a thing that happens when you've seen so many pubes, you just need to stop. And there's a cap. There's a cap for me. I actually don't know what the actual amount is. I just know that I have dealt with a lot of strangers' body hair. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for gloves, and I'm so grateful for heavy-duty cleaning products because I was not having it, and I've been scraping the gunk off of every single crack and crevice.
With a pick.
Yes, diligently.
Like getting out of every little nook and cranny.
Yeah, because I will not have that. Absolutely not. And so I'm excited to do the rest of the walls and the shower and whatnot. But yeah, what the fuck, you guys? I cannot believe y'all left that amount of grime. You just showered in that. Y'all just lived like that. That's crazy.
People just live with that much like grease, and like there was we had the stove and the range like hood replaced. And they like there was just oil dripping down from the range hood that's like that's an actual fire hazard.
Yeah.
And it is genuinely insane to me that people live that way. Like I am aware that I have like a touch of OCD and have really high standards, but I didn't realize like how bad it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, down to the paint job. I mean, the fact that there's like paint splatters that again you would have to like I was using like the like really abrasive part of the scrub mommy to scrub, and then also I would have to like dry pick it off.
Yep.
Because like what? So you just let paint splatter everywhere all over the tile?
Oh yeah.
Come on now.
In the kitchen the same way. And the thing is you just take a little scraper and it comes right off.
Yeah.
Like, but like I tape off before I paint like the baseboards or on the carpet, and the amount of white paint that's on the carpet, and I'm like, you guys could have just taped that and you wouldn't get any transfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that being said, if you are renting, yes, you can decorate your place. Just do a good job painting it back.
Yeah.
Don't leave drips. Don't fucking make a mess. Mm-hmm. And it really does make a difference. We're still obviously in the middle of like decorating it.
Totally.
And trying to figure out the lack of outlets everywhere, because our entire bedroom has one outlet. Your bedroom has one outlet.
Yep.
The bathroom doesn't have any outlets.
It's basically an American man's dream because they're all obsessed with getting fucking extension cords.
Yeah.
And here you actually need them. So there's that.
I hate it.
Same. I'm not appreciative
when we build a house, I'm going to be the most obnoxious person ever about like, I want a million fucking outlets.
There's got to be at least one on each fucking wall. Like, we need all
one?
At least one.
I want one every 6 feet.
Nice. That's good. Yeah.
I want one every 6 feet. Mm-hmm. No less.
Yeah, no less than that.
It's insane.
They're going to be like, so you want 62 outlets? You're like, yes.
100%.
Did I stutter?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I did, so you better fucking do it.
Yep.
Another thing that they mentioned was, so there's fair wear and tear. That's a whole fucking section is fair wear and tear. In bold, that's just all it says. Fair wear and tear means a deterioration that occurs over time with the use of the property, even though the property receives reasonable care and maintenance. Nice. A tenant is only liable for any damage caused by negligence, being irresponsible, or any intentional actions that cause damage to the premises. The examples in the following table will help illustrate the differences between the two. So common examples of fair wear and tear are faded curtains or frayed cords, furniture indentations and traffic marks on carpets, scuffed wooden floors, faded or cracked paint, loose hinges or handles on doors or windows, and worn sliding tracks, cracks in the walls from building movement, and water stain on the carpet from rain leaking through the roof or bad plumbing. Damage examples from which you may be liable are missing, damaged, or torn curtains, either caused by the tenants or their pets, stains or burn marks on carpets, badly scratched or gouged wooden floors, unapproved paint job or large areas of damage, example from posters being ripped off of walls. Scandalous. Broken glass from a flatmate or child hitting a ball at the window.
I like this specificity of this.
So specific.
They should have said a drunken flatmate.
A drunken flatmate.
That's a roommate for anyone who doesn't know.
Holes in the walls left by tenants removing picture hooks or shelves they have installed. And water stain on carpet caused by overflowing bath or indoor pot plants.
I'm entertained by this holes in the walls for the picture because none of them were filled in.
I know. When we came in,
not a single one was filled in.
When we came in, we were like, okay, damn. So y'all didn't do anything. Y'all didn't know how to patch a wall?
Mm-mm.
I guess not.
No, nothing was fixed. So that being said, I do love this home. The living room is a good size. We did get the world's largest couch because we fell in love with her and then had to have her, and she takes up the entire living room. Mm-hmm. But it's plenty enough space for all of us.
Literally, when we're watching a movie, I feel like I'm 10 miles away.
You are 10 miles away.
Literally, like, so far away from you guys, which is so funny. What is your favorite part about the house? That's what I want to ask.
The cross breeze. So the house is facing west, which is great because we have a constant like cross breeze, and because I have had an eastern facing like bedroom for the last several years that we were in Reno, and the like sun coming in first thing in the fucking morning is the worst. And though I do love sunlight, the windows that we currently have on the bedroom are northern facing, so I don't get direct light and it doesn't get like very hot. I would say for about an hour in the afternoon, the living room does get a little bit warm. But if you close the curtains, hence why they're closed behind us, then it's not bad. So it's all the windows, and I honestly love the lack of AC. Because you know me, I fucking hate artificial air. You've listened to me, and anyone who's been on the podcast for a long time,
I can't be bothered. To me. In the most like privileged way, I just cannot fucking be bothered. Because I already have like a million devices and screens that I look at. I don't need to do that. I don't need to fucking do the lacy. I don't want to.
And I think it's interesting because people are like, oh, but what if you get cold? And it's like, well, that's why you have blankets. And it's like, if you get hot, that's why you have a fan. Bitch, I bought a Snuggie
for a reason.
Yeah.
Use the damn Snuggie.
It's, and it's just nice. And I mean, we do have like, they've got like a split unit. So if we do want, but it's only in the living room and that's it.
Yep.
So if it, for some reason, we have a massive heat wave, then yes, we can use that, or like during winter time, but otherwise like 1 or 2 space heaters is about all you need. So it's a really well-designed house when it comes to like cross breezes.
So many windows.
Yeah.
There's so many windows in this house, and I'm so appreciative of that. I love that. Love that.
That's like that. And then again, I can't wait to get in that backyard and fucking like start gardening.
Oh my God. I am so excited to see what the backyard looks like before and after we're done with it. I was going to say probably my favorite thing has to be the backyard.
Yeah.
It's like, I really don't know how to like humble brag my way through this, but that backyard is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, especially
so
compared to like what you're used to in Reno.
Yeah, 100%. Well, also like compared to the other properties that we toured.
Oh, yeah.
This house was actually cheaper than a lot of the properties that we toured.
Well, it's because it's older. And
it's because it's older, and she did need love, which we are capable of giving.
Well, again, it's like the location we had for Cali Lou's in Reno needed updating.
Y'all don't even know how bad it was.
So we got it for a good price because we got it for a comparable price of what it was. And we were fortunate enough to be able to have the skills to be able to update and work on it. And also, like, for me, that initial investment is worth it for you to then have a space that you get to, like, create and enjoy. And then also, I just like restoring buildings to, like, what they should be.
I like building that trust with the space where it sounds weird because a lot of people would be like, well, it's just a house that's inanimate. And I don't actually think that's true. I think that like you build trust with the space by working with it and cleaning it and showing it love. And like when you first like rent a house or really I just got so scared that cat was in our house and it's Bailey. Sorry,
there's
like,
talk about a neighborhood
there's
cat
a lot. Yeah, there's 2 neighborhood cats that like to hang out. Near our house. It's
I am a little worried about that for when they come in the back door.
I thought that was the tabby that was literally in our house, and I was like, oh my God, how'd you get in here? Anyway.
Yes. You were talking about building the trust before Bailey cat scared you?
When you like deep clean a space when you first move into it, especially a house that's like really been lived in, and you can tell that she's been needing some love for a while, and like just like, again, taking that pick and just picking out the gunk from the sides of the cabinet doors and the insides and the fucking shower. I just makes me feel really good because it's like, okay, you can trust me. Like, you're in our hands now. You can trust us. Like, we can trust you. You can trust us. We're going to take care of you.
Yes.
You're going to get the fun life that you've always wanted to live. You're going to get your second wind here with us. Like, oh my goodness. And it already feels like she is. And so, I'm very excited for the backyard. I've always said, like, my goal is to, like, be able to bike and or walk to work. And my goal is also to have a New Zealand garden. And now I'm going to be able to have both.
Yes.
So I'm, like, really pumped about that. And she's, again, a great price. And I'm really fortunate to have people to teach me how to do things around the house.
Well, that's the privilege of child labor and growing up poor.
There you go.
So that's
I don't
the
know
nice
about
part.
Privilege, but just something good that came out of that. So I'm stoked. But what's something in the house that you've had to get used to? I talked about closet space, so I just want to talk about that really fast. Anything that you're getting used to?
I mean, obviously, besides the outlets.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Nice.
That's about it. And then it's just going to be like decorating and like working around like the existing stuff. But I kind of like that challenge. So besides the extension cords are the worst part, but I'll figure out how to make them look cute. Yeah.
It's right now we're at like the beginning of what feels like it is a marathon. Yes. We're at the beginning of the marathon where we were really excited and now we're feeling the fatigue. And we're like, oh, we just gotta keep going.
Yes.
I feel like that's where I'm at least. I don't want to overspeak 100%. For you.
No,
but
that's it.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, the novelty of like, woo, this is so awesome, has like worn off. And
so now there's half done paint jobs where I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back to it. Don't worry, they won't stay left half done. They'll be half done for like a month. And then I'll be like, okay, I need to finish this off.
You're not the type to just leave it.
No. I'm very aware of the fact that the trim needs to be painted and like there's painter's tape on the window over there.
Totally.
So.
And yeah, I'm aware of the fact that I still need to scrub a bunch of walls before we get wallpaper up and tape a bunch of stuff off from my room and whatnot. My bed is still not on a frame. So
it's on a plastic bag, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. It's in the plastic that it came in, because guess what? If you don't want your mattress touching the floor, you can just save the plastic until you're ready to paint, and then you can assemble your bed frame.
Exactly. And our bed frame had to go on instantly because I can't sleep on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've got enough, and our room will be the last room to get painted anyway. Mm-hmm. It always is. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna spend a couple months sleeping on a floor. Whereas your room will get painted relatively soon.
Do you like being the last room, or is that just out of necessity? What is that?
It's probably more necessity. Because I need every other room to get sorted first, and then I just take whatever leftover paint there is.
Yeah.
You know, the typical thing. You take whatever leftovers you can get, and that's what you work with.
Yeah, but like, I don't want you to do that. Now I'm hesitant to paint my room. That's why I didn't want my room to be painted first.
Your room has to get sorted.
Why?
Bitch, you're on the floor.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah. Mine's just white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So that's totally fine. Okay. Before our camera goes out, which we probably have about another minute on, we are still adjusting to like the batteries here. So that's why we have to keep it kind of short.
Yep.
What's your win for the week?
Win for the week would honestly be from today. I set a timer because I woke up in a shit mood. And I was like, you know what? You're just going to try to get as much humanly possible done until 4 o'clock. Yeah. Then you're going to sit your ass down, and if you feel like editing at that point, then you will edit. And that's exactly what I did. I stopped at 3:30, actually.
Yeah.
Lay down for an hour, and then I just started editing. So that's my win for the week. What's yours?
It was great, because it gave me the same like motivation to be like, okay, you're done at 4.
If you could see the light at the end of the tunnel, then it helps to like really just, be productive.
Yeah, because then I got like the kitchen's almost completely done. We unpacked a ton. There's literally one more box of like unpacking to do.
Well, and that's the point of it too. Yeah. It's not to guilt you into like, okay, I have to stop at 4. If you feel good, then fucking blow through that time
I kept blowing through it just because I was listening to a really good audiobook, and I was like, well, I need to know why they're trying to kill this lady.
Yeah, and if you hit a flow state, then you hit a flow state.
But I guess my win for the week would be, I would say like almost being done with the kitchen, which is good, because I would like to just get one room fucking done, and the kitchen's kind of important. And I made the dogs food, so they're back on. I mean, they have been for a couple weeks now, but they're back on like normal, like homemade food.
And they love it. The sun's pouting right next to me.
Yeah, because it's so still on the burner right now. And I got a fucking induction stove. Actually,
that's a good win.
I've wanted an induction stove.
Yes.
Since I first saw one, the first time I ever went to IKEA, and I've been dying for an induction stove. And let me tell you what, it's the fucking tits. Their food, which usually takes a couple hours to cook because there's a lot of stuff to cook for it, took less than 45 minutes. We get minced lamb and minced beef currently from the butcher. Yep. And it cooked like that. Like instantly, I went outside, cut a couple boxes, came back, and I was like, that shit's fully cooked. So if you are going to get a stove, I highly recommend an induction stove. Fucking gas stove, they're bad for you anyway. Also, they take entirely too long. And that whole narrative around like real chefs have a gas stove, you can keep that fucking lie. It's a lie sold to you by natural gas, but an induction stove is the fucking tits. So,
I'm so excited about it. I'm excited to get settled because I haven't been like particularly feeling like I need to cook, but with that stove, I'm like, oh Callie, you can like broaden your horizons. Like you're about to pan sear some shit that you've never been able to pan sear before.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. I actually cooked like for myself today. I made myself food because I was like, this is great. And it's a glass top. And I've missed a glass top so much because they clean so much easier. And that was why I was like, you know what? It's $100 difference between a regular glass top, which I knew was the only way I was going to do it because it's the easiest and most clean way to do it, or an induction, and we opted for a fucking induction. So props to us and induction fucking cooking. And I didn't even have to get new pots and pans because all of our pots and pans came from IKEA.
Boom.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Bam. So, great one for the week. And on that note, before our battery does die, we will get back to doing longer episodes once we do get settled in and we're not just on the corner on the couch.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, ask your questions. I am collecting them people have asked questions. I don't have all the answers to all of them yet because I'm trying to gain them through just lived experiences. Yep. But we will do an entire questions episode soon where we'll just answer all of your amazing and random questions. And if you watch the drag queen stories, we'll talk about that in the next episode about what a drag show is like here where you don't have to tip.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. We'll see you guys back next week, if not sooner. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.